Hellblade Senua Sacrifice has been getting a lot of attention lately for being one of the best looking games on the Nintendo Switch. I got my hands on it the day after its release and was excited to dive into its beautiful world. What I didn't expect was how much the narrative, gameplay, and audio effects would draw me in and keep me hooked throughout Senua's 8-hour story. In case you haven't heard of Senua Sacrifice before, the story follows Senua, who is on a quest to reclaim the soul of her love, Dillion, from the grips of Hela in the land of Helheim. In order to do this, Senua must solve puzzles, face enemies along the way, and overcome her own darkness as well. Her darkness stems from her own psychosis. The visuals are quite the achievement in Senua Sacrifice on the Nintendo Switch, and it seems more and more third-party developers are just finding that magic formula to scale a game's visuals back just enough to make the frame rate solid, while also maintaining a lot of the things that make it visually appealing to begin with. And Senua Sacrifice is definitely no different. That being said, there was still the occasional pop-in of an item every now and then, and I would also notice the frame rates would drop here or there, but to be honest, I just didn't care. I'll gladly take that occasional frame drop or that pop-in if it means that I get to play a game as beautiful as this one on the Nintendo Switch and be able to take that with me on the go. However, visuals aren't what stole the show for me. As mentioned before, Senua lives with a form of psychosis and hears voices in her head. Sometimes these voices can be helpful, while other times they are meant to tear Senua down. The game developers actually sat down with psychologists and experts in the field so that they could accurately portray what someone in Senua's situation might be experiencing, and it shows so much. Right away, the game, and myself for that matter after playing it, recommends that you play this game with headphones on. The expert level of panning the voices and sounds leads to a truly immersive experience. It truly gives you the impression of what it's like to have voices running around in your head. It's a creepy but cool effect to be sure, but on a deeper level, I actually found myself having a better understanding of what someone going through psychosis might experience.
Turn back, go back, go back. It's not safe. Turn back, go back, go back, it's not safe.
Moving into gameplay, Senua's Sacrifice offers some challenging puzzles and great combat. I really enjoyed how Senua's Sacrifice throws you in without teaching you any of the controls. You can of course look them up in the menu, however the game just assumes that you have some basic understanding of how games work and can figure out how to sprint, block, fight, and focus on your own. I also really enjoyed the combat. After a bit of experimenting with the controls, I felt like a total badass with my sword taking on enemies that were twice as big as me, swinging my sword in new combinations of melee, light attacks, and heavy attacks. It was the most fun I've actually had with a sword-based melee game in a while, plus the bosses are just fantastic. As far as the puzzles go, there are a couple of main types that the game throws at you, and then it expands on those to make them more complicated from there. I don't want to ruin too much of them for you, but I will give you a couple of the reoccurring ones. The first type of puzzle, and probably the most common type, is where you find a rune on a door, and basically those runes you have to find in the environment around you in order to open the door. These are all over throughout the game. While most of these give you unlimited time to figure out where the runes are because they appear in different places, there are definitely some that put you under a time crunch or have an enemy chasing you around to add pressure. The second main type of puzzle is one that involves illusions. Looking through a certain type of seal will reveal hidden areas to you that you would not be allowed to pass through without the seal. Overall, Senua's Sacrifice is an absolute steal for its $30 asking price on the Nintendo Switch. After getting done with the story, I'm actually really hard-pressed to find even one thing I can fault the game on. Even its 8-hour story seems the perfect length. It just doesn't drag the story out any longer than it needs to be, and as a result finishes with all the impact that it needs to be a satisfying finish. Without a doubt, Senua's Sacrifice is a game I can gladly recommend you add to your Nintendo Switch collection. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you all liked this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Alright you all, we'll see you in the next video.